name's Ted Snell and I'm the Director of the Cultural Precinct at the University of Western Australia. My daily life is really trying to find opportunities for artists to reach an audience and to create a space where people can engage with the arts. The University of Western Australia employed me to put sort of like an envelope or an umbrella around the arts and cultural activities that currently exist, and also to try and find spaces where we might create new opportunities. One of the things we're doing at the moment is we're taking over all of the lecture theatres on campus from 10 to the hour to 5 to the hour, and we're going to present to all the students sitting there waiting for their lectures a small program of arts and cultural activities that are either happening on campus, that might happen, that have happened in the past, or just some of the things that current students and staff are thinking about. The idea is really more to create a sort of continuing sense that there is a really rich arts engagement on the campus. We've had a number of round tables where we've invited international speakers, and we've brought together people from the campus but also from outside the campus to talk about ideas which are really relevant to their professional practice as artists or artists working across the sciences. And there's an energy and an enthusiasm now which has generated some really exciting opportunities. They haven't been realised yet, but there's some wonderful opportunities out there. I was delighted because of the idea of having design as one of the discipline areas. And one of the things that we're doing in terms of developing a design framework is to think about where the arts and sciences meet, because that's a very key part of the way in which design operates. So we're looking at developing a thing called the Axis Lab, Art Meets Science Lab, and that will be part of a larger thing called the Design Hub. And the Design Hub will be a way of bringing particularly engineering and architecture students, but also those interested in the broader fields of design right across campus, into a dialogue to see what the future might bring. I mean, we're actually thinking of it as like This Is Tomorrow, which was the title of a fabulous exhibition in 1950 in England, so not all that brand new. But I think this idea of this is tomorrow, now, and how are we going to deal with it is a very exciting thing particularly for undergraduate students to engage with. The most important thing in changing attitudes is really just to provide a focus, I think, or really just to provide a sort of almost like a spotlight. This is what's happening, and get on board and get excited about it. I think there is something happening in UWA in terms of a general sense that the university is more than just classes and just getting a qualification. The university has thought that education is a much more expansive and open opportunity for people. It isn't something that just gives you a qualification. I mean, there's a great statistic that of all the people currently employed, 30% are in jobs that didn't exist 30 years ago. Why would you give people very narrow skill sets? What you've got to do is give them a sense of opportunity, of openness, of boundary hopping. And I think this new structure at the university is going to do that. Part of that is also seen as creating opportunities across the arts so that people can engage in arts activities, not only as creative practitioners, but also as a receptive audience. The other space that I really find probably the most exciting space is in the studio, because I'm a painter, alone on my own. Now that's a time I don't have as much, I don't have as much time for that at the moment in my life, but when I am working in the studio, when I do have some projects going, when I'm sitting in that studio space, and when there's nothing else happening in the world around me, that's a moment when I can feel really energised. When I was a kid, I wasn't all that well. I had asthma, and I used to have bouts when I wasn't going to school. It was a pretty good thing, really. One of them was about 6 weeks long, and I was particularly unwell. But the only thing I could do was sort of prop myself up in bed and draw. I all of a sudden decided that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be more of an artist, and from then on, that's really all I wanted to do. I set up my bedroom as a sort of studio. I had an easel and I had oil paints, and I still find the smell of oil paints quite intoxicating, and linseed oil, it's fantastic. Whatever aspect of the arts that I'm involved in, that's what I want to be. I've never wanted to go off and become something else. I've often looked at people, earning more money and stuff and thought, oh, that'd be good. But ultimately, what I want to do is work in the arts. Probably the best thing is having an idea, gathering people around you to get support for that idea, and finally getting that idea realised into a form where it has an impact on the world, that's what gives me most joy. That's what I think is the ultimate in success.